Hi, it's Charlie giving you Monday's market commentary. I hope you're very well. And it's been about 3 weeks now, I think. Just back today, got back last night, so back into it. But I say back into it, but actually I was managing trades whilst I was away, and we often talk about trading whilst being on vacation or holiday, and it's usually a nice time to take a break and to recharge the batteries, which is obviously what I was doing. But I took some trades. Literally just I think the day that I was leaving or the night before, and then I was managing them, and one of which was this Dow short, which ended up being a great trade. I think it was about a 13-to-1 risk to reward on that trade in the end, and I made, well, on cost both my accounts well in excess of $20,000. It was yes, it was a nice treat to go away and to make $20,000 or over that. Whilst on vacation, just managing the trades is quite nice. And all I'm using is my phone. I wasn't on my laptop, didn't take it with me. Just looking at the prices, and sometimes just looking at price action and literally just looking at the prices that I'm seeing, you get a feel just for what's going on. I can remember what the chart looked like before I left, and of course I can bring up little charts on my phone, but it's quite nice just looking at the price action from day to day. You're thinking, no, that looks like that's bouncing at the moment, but that looks like I'll go over. Literally just by looking at the prices as the prices are moving up and down. So I just check the phone a couple of times a day, and and even got fortunate that I think I came out, exited my Dow trade on this day here. I saw it went a little bit lower. And I thought, oh, maybe I've come out a little bit early, but now looking at it now, as of today, it looks like it wasn't a bad exit. And funnily enough, I did get long as well. So I went long on, I think it was on Friday actually. Again, off my phone, sitting on the beach or whatever. And I could see the congestion that had been going on, and I think I put a buy stop order in. I can't remember how I got in it, but again, I had I just took 100 points, or just a bit over 100 points on that one. So it's been quite nice, and I trade on the euro as well. Managed some trades out on some of the other currencies, so we'll go through those. But yeah, this Dow is pretty interesting. What's going on here, and obviously the S&P. The S&P much stronger, as we can see here. If we have a look at the likes of the Russell, it's held up reasonably well as well. Not as much downside as that of the Dow. So the Dow was definitely the right one to have been in for me. I mean, the S&P was offered up a good amount of points as well. So I guess the key thing is where next for these markets, and I'm going to do a webinar hopefully next week. I'll see if I can get it set up for the MBT people. So I'll do a webinar for them, because I've got some key decisions that to be made on this Dow chart, and whether we're going to be going higher or whether we're going to be rolling over, and how I'll look to trade that. So at the moment I'm flat on that market, and I think there's some opportunities coming up here, both on the long side and the short side, but I think there could be some more nice risk to reward trades there. So we'll have a look. The potential is for the Dow obviously to come all the way back up, and but I've got some other ideas as how I'll end up trading this one. So yeah, we'll see about that. But yeah, so anyway, so coming back to it, so yeah, so it was a very nice holiday, a vacation, from a trading perspective, and so some years I don't even trade, and other years I put a couple of trades on like I had, and they came out all right. So that's the Dow for now. So at the moment where we currently are, I think there's some more upside in the immediate future. The futures are up a little bit here today, so we'll still see a bit of a bounce, but we are into the daily bands, upper bands here, so I don't know how much further we'll bounce before we then do some backing and filling, at least anyway. So if anyone's looking on the Dow, I do think there's probably got another 100 points of upside. Now I don't know, I'm not talking about today, I'm talking about overall before it meets some heavier resistance. So but it could do some backing and filling yet, so we'll see. Let's go and have a look at some of these other currencies, because I mean, dollar CAD, I was long the day I left. I was talking to the guys, or the night before, I put this trade in on the dollar CAD to buy it at 107.45. I had an order in to buy it, which obviously went really nicely, and I had orders to close out at 108.20. which whilst I was away, it was still a nice trade. And but look how much further it went. But there's not much you can do on that because I hadn't got the analysis to look at the charts. I couldn't see what was going on. Just knew that 108.20 was a reasonable level to exit at. I knew we were going to start hitting resistance there from these prior lows and stuff, but it's had a tremendous run. So I need to have a look at these markets properly, which I still haven't done yet. So, but we'll go on to some markets which I have had a look at. So let's have a look at those. But that was a good one, and a dollar yen as well. Again, I was in the trading room with the guys again the evening before I left, and put orders in on the dollar yen to buy, and that was where was that? I can't even remember where it was now. Well, it was around the 23rd, wasn't it? So it was down here. So bought the dollar yen, and there were reasons why at that stage. And we got into that trade, and I ran that up to just below 102. So again, way off. It just had a great run. But what's interesting with the dollar yen is that it's had this nice run up. Yes, it's done a deep retrace, but I think that we might still have some more upside on this dollar yen. So I'm waiting to see if we're going to come back down to this lower band area, and if I'm going to be watching the price action as and when, and if we can get down to this lower band action area, and I'll be looking to then buy the dollar yen. So that is something I am interested in. So the dollar yen as a buy. Now that could take a couple of days to see how it fares, but I'd quite like to be a buyer of the dollar yen. And if I'm wrong, and I'm wrong as always, but I wouldn't mind being a buyer of that. And I haven't even looked at the Aussie dollar yet. Aussie's finally rolled over. Right, okay. Let's go and have a look at the pound dollar though. Yeah, pound dollar's had a really nice run down. I can't really say too much about it again because I haven't done the analysis yet. But a good run. Let's have a quick look at the weekly charts. It's still got this potential to run down to the weekly 50, so that's certainly does have the potential there. But it's had a good run. I can see it the whole time I've been away. It's had a nice run down, but I can't see anything at the moment, so I'm a bit blind to it, so I can't give you much analysis on that. So it's the dollar yen that I'm interested in. I think if we go to the euro dollar, I think there's a little bit of upside on the euro dollar as well at the moment, potential. It's obviously having a down day today. But I'd like to see if this euro dollar can at least get up to its daily 21 MA and maybe up to its monthly pivot, which is a little bit higher at 134.85. So I'd like to see if the euro dollar can have a little bit of a bounce there. There's some weakish positive signals, if you see what I mean, that may just allow that euro dollar to have a little push up there. So we'll see. Obviously, if we break the recent lows, then all bets are off on that. So it needs to hold those previous lows. If it can, then certainly the daily 21 and then the monthly 50 at 134.85 are potentials on the euro dollar. At this stage, I'm 8 minutes in. I've not really covered too much other than just talking about trading in general when you're on holiday. I think most of the time that people probably should take the break, but it was a really interesting exercise in just going back to basics and just looking at price action off a phone and getting a really good feel for a market just by looking at prices as they've been flashing and checking them a few times a day and then getting a good feel for it. So it just goes to show you don't always need all of these indicators that we all use, that actually if you've got a good handle of price action, then you can still trade. Right, I'll leave those thoughts with you and be back on Friday for live trading, if not before.